Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So I wanted to talk about the scene that was actually released today by The Walking Dead, and it's actually a scene from the finale in which we do see Daryl up against a variant walker, and we actually do see some of this scene, and the scene doesn't end right away, and we know from other scenes or other teasers that came out that there's actually another aspect to this fight, so I think this fight's going to be a few minutes long for sure. So I'm definitely very excited. This episode comes out tomorrow, so tomorrow I will have my review out. I will also have a breakdown of the season 2 teaser because we are apparently getting that tomorrow. It's already out, I know, and I've watched it and I'm definitely very excited about it, but that actually does really ruin a lot of plans that I had. I was going to do a death predictions video and I can't now because I've seen the characters that survived. Like, that's the thing. I've seen the characters that survived, and so there's just no point now. Literally, I can't do it. I should have did it earlier this week. But yeah, I'll talk about the teaser towards the end of the video, and I'll get into some of the stuff with just, I don't know, my thoughts on the release of this and like the spoilers that are sort of out there and all that right now. But anyways, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I have some videos on The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, coming out over the next couple of days. I believe I have one after this actually focused on Major General Beale and Pearl Thorne and Nat, the newer characters. So I want to break down those characters, talk about how they could actually be involved in the story and whatnot. So yeah, quite a bit to talk about here. And then obviously tomorrow I'll be doing my review of the final episode, Season 2 teaser breakdown, and just sort of any sort of scene breakdown or anything like that that happens. There's going to be a lot, and, you know, we'll talk about the Daryl Dixon show probably over the next week quite a bit, and then it's going to really turn into Fear the Walking Dead / The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, because Fear the Walking Dead, I'm actually very excited for, you know, just to see how it ends, because it's 6 episodes. I'm really hyped, actually, to see how they're going to end everything. And, you know, all the new Rick and Michonne teasers. Like, I actually do think, now that we have the release date, like it's February 2024, I think they're going to give us the exact release date once Fear the Walking Dead is over. So at the end of November, I think we will get a full trailer for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, followed by an exact release date as to like when to expect it. So I'm very, very hyped for all this here. So as I was saying, the variant walker scene that we do see here is really, really cool. It seems like the episode begins with some sort of recap, I guess, of what happened in the very end, and we see Codrone, and I don't know if that's how you pronounce it exactly. I've been saying Codron the entire time, but Norman Reedus pronounces it differently. He says Codrone or something like that, and yeah, so I'm assuming he knows how to pronounce it properly, so I think I've been pronouncing it wrong the entire time. I don't think it's Codron. Anyways, Daryl's actually fighting the walker, and I really do like how the scene plays out. Like, the walker runs at him, and he just kind of dodges it at first, because he's like, oh, I'm not dealing with that, and the walker runs straight into the wall, because again, this walker is just, it's very much still like a walker. Like, that's the one thing that I do like about these variant walkers is they're not like super intelligent. And that was the one thing that I feel like I think people could not like as much. I think if this walker was very intelligent, then it would just become it's a little different. I think in future seasons, if they wanted to introduce a walker that was not only strong and fast and all that, but a lot more intelligent, then I think they could. That would be really exciting. But for now, you know, just having this type of walker here, I mean, it took Daryl a long time to fight this walker here, and that's what I like about it. Imagine if there was like 100 of these walkers. Like, it's kind of insane, because I remember going back to, I mean, season 4 and 5 of The Walking Dead, seeing our characters just like walk on the street or whatever. Like, this is before, I guess, they got to Alexandria, when they were just sort of roaming and, you know, just walking down that road. Whenever there was a walker nearby, they would just like kill it and keep walking. They were so not stressed out. And even if there was like tons of walkers behind them, they can sort of lead them sort of in this direction or whatever. But this walker here, you can't lead this walker anywhere. These walkers, if there was a lot of them like that, like, they're going to kill you. So that's really terrifying. That's so threatening. But the walker just gets back up in like this insane way, runs at Daryl, and he's sort of like, he actually attacks the walker, but the walker actually doesn't lose its leg. Like, I don't know if it's just because of the way he hit the walker, but like, I'm sure he tried to like cut the walker's leg off or something, but like nothing happened. It was just sort of like a wound or whatever, and the walker fell down. The walker gets back up and runs at him, and then Daryl stabs the walker and then just forces it towards this like pillar here, and then I guess obviously just stabs it into the wall. Now, what I do find really interesting is, I mean, first of all, I think there is actually a scene of this walker pulling itself off of this, so that's going to be actually kind of insane. And I'm kind of worried about Daryl here. I don't know if we need to be worried, but he actually does get burnt here. And so I'm wondering if his hands got burnt by this, like, is he going to turn now? Is he infected? Is that what's happening? Or was it just too hot? Like, he was just too scared to actually touch it. Did he actually burn himself? Maybe he actually didn't burn himself here. It's hard to say, because when you're looking at the scene, like, you can see the steam coming out kind of thing. And it doesn't necessarily touch his hand, but it also kind of does. You can kind of see it dripping, and it's like right there by his hand. So that means his fingers right now have been burnt by the walker. So couldn't that turn him? Like, that's the thing. Couldn't that actually turn him? So I'm wondering if that's going to play a role here in the last episode, because it's I mean, I don't know. It seems like it probably could. But yeah, Madame Genet, obviously, when she sees that, she's very happy. At first, she does seem very concerned because Daryl's just taking on this Variant Walker like nothing. And I will say, I think that really just proves that Daryl is just an amazing fighter. And I just think that it's not normal overall for most people to be able to fight a walker like this. I think our group is just really, really skilled at doing this. And so I think Daryl specifically, I feel like is the best fighter I would honestly say that Daryl is a better fighter than Rick Grimes is, which I know Rick Grimes fans might not like. I mean, I'm a big Rick fan, like he's my favorite character of all time, but like I could even admit that, when compared to Daryl in terms of taking on walkers and stuff, like Daryl is just very, very skilled. It's one of the things about him that is just very, very skilled. Like Rick obviously has a lot of skill in that area too, but he's more skilled at being a leader and a lot of other things. For Daryl, it's just, he's an amazing fighter. He can really, it's crazy. If you actually look at the series overall, he's been winning every single fight so far. So it's kind of funny. So I wonder if that'll change here in the finale. But yeah, he does actually burn his fingers. So I'm just wondering now, like if they go to the nest, are they going to be able to treat that there? Like what's going to happen with Daryl now? Because it's, I feel like that's going to be a little worrisome. Like, isn't he going to turn now? So I hope they address that in the finale, because if they don't address it, I'm going to point it out in my review, because we learned earlier this season that if you get touched by a burner, you'll get infected and you can turn. So that's why they treated Daryl's arm in the premiere, right? So hopefully this wasn't just a small detail that they're just gonna kind of ignore, because that's a little insane. Now, I also wanted to talk about the season 2 teaser that came out, because people are just first of all, people are very, very upset about some of the stuff that came out. I mean, I personally don't understand why this came out. Apparently AMC released it somewhere. I have no idea. I've just been seeing it online, so I can't say for sure whether or not AMC actually released this. And so, yeah, but I imagine this is going to be releasing at some point tomorrow. So, then people will be talking about it. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. But the thing that I hate about it is that I can't actually do my my predictions video at all. I literally cannot do my predictions video for the finale, because it'd just be ridiculous at this point. I know every single character that survives, and I'm not going to talk about anything in here. I'm not going to get into a lot of it, but what I will say in terms of it, and I guess I should warn you, this will contain spoilers for season 2. I'm not going to talk about the finale. I'm not going to talk about anything like that. I'm not going to talk about any characters that survived, but I will reference a character that was confirmed for season 2. So if you don't even want to know that, then I would just stop watching now at this point here. But when you look at the teaser for season 2, we do see Carol. Carol is actually in the teaser there, and it's actually honestly really amazing. I love her whole entire new look here. The jacket is just incredible. I mean, the hairstyle too is just really cool, because it reminds me of like earlier Carol too, because like even when Carol cut her hair short in the final episode, it still didn't look like early Carol. It still wasn't the same style. And so when you see shots of her in season 2, and I'll break that down tomorrow, it's actually really cool. Like it just reminds me of like season 3, season 4, around there. It's amazing. It's just so cool. And I'm so excited to see Carol. I'm so excited to see Carol again in this show. I think like she's an incredible character. She is such an incredible character. Having Carol and Daryl together again is going to be crazy, especially with this type of writing. Like, I'm almost getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. Like, it's going to be such an incredible season. I still don't like the title, though. I'm just going to say I still don't like the title. Like, The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol is still so ridiculous of a title, but like, I get it in some sense. I think they just wanted to have Carol involved in the title because the spinoff was originally like the Daryl and Carol show, right? I think that they probably just should have called it, like, I guess that's the thing too, though, is like going into filming, I don't think they really knew what was happening and stuff, right? And so I think that they were just like, well, we'll sort of start it at first, and then if you want to join at some point later, then you can show up in the finale or for season 2 or whatever. And so that's what's happening here, right? She's showing up here for season 2, but yeah, obviously they had to pick a title at first. They couldn't call it Daryl and Carol, then Carol's not in the season at all, right? So I think that, it's one of those things that is just kind of unfortunate. So I do understand why they wanted to call it The Book of Carol, because that actually, like, the thing is, what I will say, as much as I don't like the title, when you actually look at the logo and you just kind of look at the title overall, it actually makes so much sense. Like The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol. When anybody sees that, they're going to be like, oh, Carol, is Carol actually in this show now, right? Like people are going to check it out right away. So I think from a marketing perspective, it actually makes a lot of sense. I just personally am not a fan of it. I could be in the minority of that, but that's totally fine. I do want to talk about the teaser so bad. I really do. Like there's a lot of stuff in here that, again, I'm just so excited for season 2, like specifically because of all the characters that did actually survive. I'm very, very surprised about that. I'm so surprised at the characters that survived season 1. And I think that I'm just, again, season 2, I think is going to be an incredible season. And I just can't wait to see what the story is going to be here, how Carol is going to be involved. And it looks like we're going to see a lot of how Carol does get there. So they are going to actually explain a lot of that. And yeah, I think it's just gonna be insane, and I really just cannot wait to actually like get into all this here. But I will leave it here. Definitely make sure to post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.